Hey everyone, Charles here. And first of all, thank you for stopping by my podcast. If this show inspires you, makes you think, or gives you that courage to jump into action, please help by donating to this show. Click the link in the description and donate. Your donation helps us with production and finding great guests moving forward. Thank you and enjoy.
You know you should be doing something different, right? Hey, I'm talking to you. Do you believe that you have the gift for greatness or have a special talent, but don't have the courage to take that next step? Always wondering how others made it look so easy? Well, welcome to Jump, the show that will bring you special guests just like you and me. How did they get the courage to jump into greatness? Doing what they love and living the good life. So, get ready to jump with your host, Charles Matthews Jr.
Hey everybody, and welcome to the Jump Podcast. I'm so excited for you to be here. Now listen, slow it down. If this is your first time, we're not talking about jumping up and down, giving yourself a workout. We're talking about jumping into greatness, jumping into the next level. And that's what it's all about. I bring interesting guests just like you and me. They tell their stories, and hopefully it can help you get to that next level. Now, my next guest, doing some research, and it's unlock your freedom. That's one of the statements. Unlock your freedom. Bring your greatest work into the world. And that's all about jumping. That's all about doing what's best, because I believe each one of you has a special talent. Sometimes we're just scared to do it, and sometimes we're like, I don't know. So hopefully my guest can help you jump to the next level. Please welcome to my guest, Kevin. Where you at?
What's going on, Charles? Thanks for having me.
What's going on, my friend?
Oh, man, it's all good over here.
First of all, I'm going to make sure that everybody, you got to check out the video. You know, it will be on YouTube and all social media, because the voice, when you hear the voice, and you guys see the man, you know what I mean? He's got that Barry White tone going on, ladies. I know you're listening and you're like, oh, what does he look like? So don't worry. You can see him on the video. It's great to have you, my friend.
Man, thanks for having me, man. It's a lot of fun to share this energy with you. You're a powerful guy, so I'm pumped.
So where are you calling in from?
I'm in Dallas, so in Texas.
Dallas, Texas. The weather is nice. You're feeling it.
Yeah, it's spring already, it feels like. So the sun is definitely out, and man, I'm grateful to be here.
Well, let's backtrack a little bit. Born and raised, where are you from?
I'm from Dallas. I had a short stint in Chicago where I proved to myself that I am built for sunnier skies. So Dallas is home.
So growing up, what did the little man in you want to become? Like, you said that's your home. What did you see yourself doing?
Yeah, there was two things that I knew I wanted to do. I wanted to be a professional baseball player, and I wanted to be in charge of people. But I didn't really understand that meant being a leader at the time. But
so I guess in the future, we're going to see you be a baseball manager. You're going to own your own team kind of thing.
Yeah, that'd be nice. But yeah, that's probably more in the 10 to 20 year goal. So.
So how did this all start? How did the dream start? How did you become who you are today?
Yeah, great question. Well, like so many people, right? I finished high school. I went to college because I couldn't really think of anything better to do. And, you go to college, right? Get a job, be successful, be happy, and life is good. And I studied strategic management and entrepreneurship in college because really it sounded cool. And I knew I wanted to do something in business, but I had no idea what. And I got out of college and I got a job, and I was working the job, and I was successful in my role, but I was really unhappy. And it was a form of burnout, which I didn't even realize at the time. Most people think of burnout. We think that it's like, I'm so busy, my hair's on fire, but I don't even have time to stop and put it out. Right. But I was more just disconnected from the work I was doing. Like I was winning on the scoreboard, but I was just bored inside, and I wasn't getting to bring my greatest work into the world. And I definitely wasn't making my greatest contribution. And fortunately I had the wherewithal to hire a business coach, and my business coach had been in the Secret Service for almost 30 years. And the Secret Service, basically their job is to see what other people aren't seeing. And he helped me see the things I wasn't seeing. He's like, man, tell me what you like about your job. And I was like, oh, well, I love this and blah, 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 blah. And he's like, man, I don't even think you like your job. He's like, the way you're talking, your tone, you're not even looking me in the eye anymore. I'm like, okay, well, some things could be better. And long story short, he's like, man, I think you'd be a really good coach. Like your favorite part of what you do is training other people and helping them, be the best them they can be. And I'm like, yeah, man, that's a great point. Unfortunately I didn't listen initially. I resisted, and I'm like, no, I like this. And I eventually listened, and, got a job as a national leadership coach and sales trainer for a large company here in Dallas. And I got to do that for a few years. I got really good at helping people just, really step into the very best parts of them and leverage that unique genius that we all have inside of us so that we can, just at the end of the day, find more happiness and aliveness. Like we all want to be happy. We all want to feel alive. And really just how can I spend the majority of my time doing what I most love to do? Well, I make the biggest impact I can make. And long story short, that's how I got here today. Just a business coach and leadership educator. And I get to help, leaders go further faster.
You said something that resonated so key with me. You said you're in the job, but you're not loving the job. It's a good job, but there's something part of you go day after day and you're just scared to get out of it. If he never talked to you, do you think you'd still be in that job today?
Man, well, hopefully I would have made a change on my own. I don't know, but that's such the beauty of coaching is that it's so nice to have somebody come alongside you that their only bias is to help you get what you want, so to speak, and to see what better looks like. And I just needed that perspective, and he helped me just see where I was wasting my energy, where I was blocking my energy or not using it, and help me see where I could find more access to, the best parts of me. And that's where we're going to find, the love for life and the love for the purpose we're serving and whatever vision, we're looking to create.
Yeah, I love that part, the love for life. So every day you wake up, you're just grateful for another day and that you can help other people. Do you remember your first coaching job?
Yeah, absolutely. I do. And I remember I was working with somebody who was really powerful. And, I think a big part of coaching, or a lot of coaches make mistakes, is they just spend a lot of time telling people what to do. And how can I possibly tell you what to do, the best way based on your experiences, your perspectives? I think, really good coaching is about transformation. It's just helping people create perspective and insight into, the best way forward for them. And sometimes there's, a little bit of telling, but really the first person that I coached, I helped her get out of a job that was really similar to where I was at. She was in this job of like chaos where she was working constantly serving other people, but she wasn't getting to serve herself. And just really helping her find out what happiness meant to her was what we spent the majority of our time doing. And that allowed her to transfer to a career that fulfilled her. And, she allowed her to come home with some energy left for her family. And that's what it's all about.
So let's get one thing straight though. Does it mean that when you fulfill your job means you have to be your own boss, or just know where you're supposed to be in life?
I think it's just getting really clear on the two questions that are so simple. It's like, what do you want and why do you want it? Like the what's the passion? Like, what do I love doing? And then, how is generosity mixed into that? That's your why, right? What's the purpose behind this passion? And a lot of people get hung up trying to add in the how, right? Well, how am I going to do this? I'm like, man, when the why is big enough, the how will emerge, right? Viktor Frankl said that, Man's Search for Meaning.
Yeah, I truly believe that not everybody has to be their own boss, but everybody has to find their key position. You could be doing a 9 to 5 in downtown, the corporate world, but your real passion is, designing. But you're too scared to jump out of the corporate world to go follow your passion and be a designer. It just holds you back. What is that one thing that that enough's enough? Like, what was it? Sometimes people go in day after day after day and time is ticking away. When is enough?
Yeah, when your cup is full of the wrong stuff, like when people bump up against you and you spill out all over them with anger or some sort of frustration, and like just little things that used to not set you off are setting you off, and you don't have the energy to do the things you want to do, and there's just no joy in what you're doing, because joy is like love expressed, right? And like basically we're either reacting from fear or we're creating from love. And if you're constantly reacting from fear, whether that looks like anger, guilt, shame, pride, apathy, whatever, like you're just replicating these past pain patterns. And it's like that movie Groundhog Day, but not fun, like Bill Murray was having, right? Like it's just hard.
I love how you put that together. If your cup is running over and you're not acting like yourself, your little things are getting you, it's time to switch it up. I love that right there, because you. And if you're acting weird, out of the ordinary, little things, you might need to take a step back and go, what's happening? Where we're going from here.
Yeah. And that's the beauty of really having a great mentor or coach around you, is just helping you see where you're kind of not seeing the truth, so to speak. What's the truth of you, and like what types of things give you energy and what types of things steal that energy. Because we all want to feel good, and the better we feel, the better we perform. And like the point in life, in my opinion, is to grow as much as we can so we can give more away, right? Growth and giving. And if you're frustrated and stuck in that reactive mode, like you're not growing, you're regressing, because there's no stay the same. Like the world still revolves around you, just not like the way you want it to.
All right. Right here, I'm looking on your website and it says, what does better look like? Finding flow. FLOW. Explain that.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I mean, like either we're stuck in this form of resistance, which I definitely was. I was resisting like the truth of what was. Like I was like, no, I'm happy. And like that was just resisting what was actually happening. And resistance creates more resistance. And it's just reactivity over and over again. Instead, it's like, I want a life of ease, peace, and flow. And what we're referring to on our website with flow, it's like, hey, what types of things am I doing that I'm curious about and I'm passionate about and actually have a purpose that matters to me, and I'm continually getting better with some form of mastery, right? Those are the intrinsic motivators that all humans share. And then like I need to have autonomy mixed in there. I need to have freedom to create the way I want to create when I want to create. It doesn't mean doing whatever you want, like absent of the people around you. But if you're not doing something that gives you energy by doing it, then you're probably not using your natural talents. And talent's not rare. What's rare is people who know how to use their talents on demand as strengths, and how to stack those talents on top of each other as their natural genius. Like we all have genius, but we've got to be in the habit of expressing that. And finding flow is about what types of things are preventing me from ease, peace, and just moving forward in a way that's conducive with the gifts I have. And fear is the big one, right? That creates massive resistance. Resistance is that invisible force that stops us from doing the things we probably want to do most. And, I think The War of Art is probably the best book I've ever read on that, by Stephen Pressfield, if you want to see more on resistance.
So here's one thing that I would ask everybody, because I know how for me, for the first time to do things, you always hesitate. You always double guess yourself. What do you think the hesitant is it for my audience to jump? What blocks us for jumping? It might be a little ledge, might be a big gore or cannon. What always stops us from jumping?
Playing the worst game that you can ever play, the comparison game, right? It's like looking at other people, and then most people walk away feeling inferior, or even worse, superior. And Teddy Roosevelt had a great quote. He said, comparison is the thief of joy. And if joy is love expressed, every time you compare yourself to other people, you're robbing yourself of the opportunity for love and joy. And it's not fair to compare yourself to anyone else. Like no one competes with you on your goals. Your goals are unique to you. Even if it rhymes with somebody else's, like you're never going to be creative making copies. And if you're not, being creative, you're just being reactive. And man, just, what? The first is usually the worst, right? The first time I rode a bike, I crashed. First like 10 times probably, right? First time I walked, crashed, but we get better.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. Get up, keep going, get it done. All right, it's time to have some fun. Let's go. It's now time for a rapid fire. What's going to happen, my friend? You're going to give me A, B, C, or D. And those are the questions I'm going to ask you. I'm going to put 2 minutes on the clock. You can elaborate, but remember, you got to get through all the questions before the 2 minutes is up. You give me the questions. Which ones would you like? A, B, C, or D?
C.
C. All right, here we go. 2 minutes is going to start on the clock. When I ask you the first question, here we go. What is success to you?
Doing something you love in a way that serves other people.
Sunset or sunrise?
Sunset.
Favorite color?
Green.
Chocolate or vanilla?
Chocolate.
How do you start your day?
In silence.
Ooh, I'm going to get back to you on that one. What's the first thing you notice about somebody?
How they make me feel.
Best fashion advice you ever gotten?
Wear whatever makes you happy.
What was the best compliment you ever gotten after coaching somebody?
I feel like you really saw me.
Describe yourself in 5 words.
Generous, love, excited, powerful, unlimited.
What is the nickname people give you after knowing you for a long time?
KK.
KK. Favorite dessert?
Anything with chocolate.
All right, here we go. Cats or dogs, my friend?
Dogs.
Oh, you said that one quick. And the last one, what would you give advice to the younger you?
Oh man, learn to say I don't know and mean it.
Learn to say I don't know and mean it. There you go. With 32 seconds left on the clock. Usually I take a break right now, but you gave two answers that I really got to get back to. Number one, you said sit in silence. What do you mean sit in silence? You just wake up and just go to a place and just nothing.
Yeah. Really, it's a more, I guess stillness would probably be a better word. Waking up, like not looking at my phone first thing. Really, I wake up and I think about 10 things I'm grateful for. And I just sit and really connect, right? Either meditation or breath work, and just being still and starting the day on my terms so that I don't come into the day reacting. It's more of a, creation.
There you go. And the other one is when you say you don't know, you just don't know. What do you mean?
Yeah, well, it took me, I think, 3 decades to learn how to say I don't know and mean it, because, I was all ego pretty much the first 30 years of my life. And it's like I had to know everything. Even if I didn't know, I felt like I should know, and I felt bad if I didn't know, and I acted like I didn't know. And that's no fun.
There, I like that one. All right, we're going to take a quick break. Don't go nowhere. We'll be right back. CMJ Entertainment is a one-stop shop. CMJ Entertainment helps people do any type of events, and it's a marketing tool as well. So we'll cover everything from start to finish. If it's a wedding, we'll make sure your wedding is over the top. And if it's an event, we make sure that everybody gets information at the end of the day. Give us a call at 416-414-8964 or online at cmjent.com.
Hey, it's okay if you're driving or too busy to take notes. Charles has your parachute packed with all the info you need to jump into success. Check out the links section for all the tools you need to land safe. Now, let's keep falling with Charles and his special guest.
Yes. We're back. Now, before we move on, you do your own podcast, Unlock Your Freedom. Tell everybody a little bit more about your show.
Yeah, sure. It's just a space for leaders to come together and really share, whatever their unique genius looks like, so that we can learn from each other and co-create and innovate together and go further faster.
So what is a great candidate for you? Like, I believe that not everybody needs to work with everybody. Not everybody's is a good fit for everybody. What is a great candidate for you? Sure.
A great candidate is a successful leader that has that servant heart, that is humble, doesn't have all the answers, understands there's, value and goodness in other people and in their ideas, and loves to share.
There you go. So how do we get contact with you? What's the steps for you to help us out?
Sure. You can find me on any social media, Kevin Kepple, or Kevin at kepplecoaching.com.
There you go. So Kevin, here is the major tool. When we are starting off, how do you get into the program? How do we start with you? I want to learn with you. People out there want to start with you. What's our first step that we do to get on board?
First step to get connected, or first step once we start working together?
First step when we start working together.
Sure. We always start with clarity, right? And it's those questions we talked about earlier, like, what do you want and why? Because if we don't know what you want, how do we know what action to take to go get it? If we don't know what you want, how would we know if we even did get it? And so really getting clear on that passion piece, what kind of thing do you want to bring more of into your life? Whether it's, more income, more freedom, better relationships, better, physical, mental health, whatever it is that we want to understand crystal clear what that looks like. And then we're going to get crystal clear on what your authentic natural genius looks like. And we've got a quantifiable way to help people understand, what their very best self can potentially look like. And maybe more importantly, what it looks like when they give all that power away.
So then, is it clarity on yourself or clarity to move forward into greatness? What's the difference?
Clarity on yourself. Like, hey, what does my most authentic self look like? Like, what does my genius truly look like if I'm bringing that into the world? And then what's preventing me from doing that? And then clarity on, like, what's the vision and the purpose I have that I'm excited about, that I want to move towards.
Yeah, I believe that that a lot of people have a blocker in front of them. They don't really understand where they want to. They want to know what they want to do. I want to be rich. I want to be famous. I want to be successful. I want to blah, 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 blah. Yeah. They want all that good stuff. But then something's always blocking the clarity and what you're talking about. How do you get there? What you want to move for? It's a big difference. That's why I wanted to really make people understand that there's two parts to this. And then you're there to help them up to understand that next level. And everybody needs to get that next level. So coaching. When people say, I need a mentor, I need a coaches, how many coaches and mentors have you gone through?
Oh my gosh, I don't know. I've had lots of one-on-one coaches in a mastermind right now. I love being part of a community of like-minded people on like-minded journeys, because I think that if you want to grow as fast as you can, you have to have three types of people kind of around you as much as possible. You need somebody to learn from. You need somebody to run with. It's not necessarily a competitor. And you need somebody to teach. And I love masterminds because you kind of get to be all three of those roles in the group, but you also have access to all three of those roles. And so I don't know what the number is, but a lot, if that's a number. Because every time I've worked with somebody, whether it's a mentor or a coach, like I've quantum leaped in my performance, in my life, and my happiness.
Yeah. And then what other thing I love about that, you do some giveaways on your website. You have elite coaching cheat sheet. You know what I mean? You download the PDF and you'll get to know a little bit more levels of performance. Talk to us about the cheat sheet on your website.
Yeah, really, the cheat sheet's just about how to, connect with people in these mutually beneficial, co-creating, co-elevating relationships, where it's not like, hey, me trying to get something from you or you trying to get something from me. It's like, how do we connect, collaborate, and go further, faster together? And I think that, again, that's about community. And we have a free Facebook group, The Art of Unstuck, that's what it's all about. We do live trainings in there every week. It's not necessarily to get anything from anyone. It's to share, common ideas and common energy so that we can all go further, faster together. And it's just nice to have people who their sole aim is to help you get where you want to go.
I like that you keep using community, working from each other, share. And that's the main thing. You have a gift, I have a gift, share with each other. That's the main goal. Brilliant to share with each other, to help each other out. We tend to, in my opinion, hold things back. You know what I mean? That's mine. I'm not going to help you out. That's mine. That's me. That's me. Like when you're a little kid growing up, that's my toy. That's my stuff. Where do we break out of that as an adult? To get out in the community and share some more.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's been said in so many different books, right? You help enough other people get what they want, you'll get what you want. But I mean, even that sounds a little narcissistic, but the most fundamental need we have as humans is connection, right? We want to see other people and we want to be seen by them. And like, it doesn't matter if somebody takes your idea and uses it, they're never going to create it the way you're going to create it. And that's why we start with the genius piece. And, some people are scared of that word genius. Like, I don't know, genius. Like, yeah, we all have genius. It's got way more to do with habits than it does natural talent. Mm-hmm. It's just about getting into the habit of expressing from the most powerful version of you. And that's absolutely possible.
And I say it again, and I'm going to say it again. You're absolutely right. Nobody is you. You can give this person a recipe, and they're not going to make that cake the same way you're going to make the cake. It ain't going to taste the same. It's the same recipe. So why are we so scared to help each other out? Give the idea. They might come up with it, and they might give you back an idea to make yours better. Why do we be so scared to share those ideas? I still don't understand, but maybe that's why you're here, my friend, to help us break out of that shell, to get to that next level so we can move forward. All right, time to have some more fun. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Now time for Pick
3. It's now time for Pick 3. You're going to pick your own last 3 questions before we let you go, my friend. I need 3 numbers between 1 and 13, and those will be the last questions I ask you before we let you go.
8, 7, 1.
8, 7, and 1. Here we go. Number 8. If you were in my shoes, what question would you have asked you that I didn't ask you?
What's one message you could get everybody in the world to hear? What would it be?
And the answer is?
And make it a habit of being kind as opposed to being right.
Say that one more time.
Make it a habit to be kind as opposed to right. When you're with someone, so many people are so focused on being right as opposed to just being kind. And man, kindness is so underrated.
There you go. There you go. I'm going to steal that one, right?
Please do.
I love it. It's so true. Make a habit to be kind than right. You don't have to be, I told you so, I told you so, I told you so. It's more like, hey, okay, you figured it out. Let's see how I can help you move forward.
Yeah.
Loving that one. All right. What is the one myth about your industry you want to squash right now?
Ooh, that maybe there's too many coaches out there. Like, I don't think there can be enough people helping other people out there. Nobody ever says there's too many plumbers, right? If you want to go further, faster, like that's the beauty of coaching. Like there's somebody for everybody out there.
Very interesting. Very interesting. All right. Number one, what is the one thing you wish you'd have known before jumping into this type of world, this type of business?
That it's okay to be extremely unique, that there's no recipe for success, right? Like just stepping into the very most authentic version of you is the best way you're going to go further, faster.
All right. Now, I always slip this one when I love my guests and they're giving me some great tools. Since I stole a couple from you, I'm going to ask you a bonus question right now, my friend. If two people, past or present, if you could shadow anybody, who would the two people be and why? Past or present, who would you follow? Just be that little fly on their shoulder, just be their shadow and just follow. Past or present, two people, who would it be and why?
Oh gosh. I'll probably take Viktor Frankl, who I mentioned earlier, just because, man, he went through 6 years in a concentration camp and came out with a phenomenal attitude. And he was so good at helping other people just find the truth of their life or life in general. And just a really brilliant, humble guy who, man, just amazing. And probably Gandhi, because Gandhi was one of the most humble people ever, but he was an agent of transformation and change. I mean, he changed the world, definitely changed 2 continents. And, when he died, he owned like 6 things, right? Like he was so humble in his approach and everybody looked to him for all the answers. And he was really delicate and never made it about him, never became a guru, just like, hey, here's a better way forward. And like, that's the goal. It's not to be perfect. It's just to be better.
Yeah, you said something that I didn't know. You said he didn't, when he died, material things, things, like it's all material things. What's having material, like, the best car, the best jet, this, or being at peace and happiness? Like at the end of the day, I guess we got to figure out what is it meant to us.
Yeah, well, that's like the whole thing. Like if I need this certain car or this certain job or this certain income to be okay, that means that I need other people to see me a certain way to be okay. And that's really, really dangerous because the greatest variable in the world is other people. Like, man, you have no idea what's going to come next from other people. And, like I like having a nice car because I like, getting where I want to go. And I like just really quality machines. It's not a look at me thing by any means, but, like, man, life's meant to be enjoyed. And if I rely on things outside of myself to bring me joy, that's pleasure. That's not happiness. And pleasure is fleeting. Pleasure is short term. Pleasure is checking Instagram or Facebook, which that's, that's fine, but that's not going to make me happy in the long term.
Did they like it? Did I get a star? Did they follow me?
Am I famous yet?
Yes, definitely. All right. I'm going to leave the last word to you, my friend. Anybody you want to shout out, say hi to, any tidbits, anything they can get you on social media, this is your time. Go ahead.
Just for anybody who's listening out there, I think one of the best services you can give for yourself and in the world in general is just not having an opinion about everything, right? You don't need to judge yourself. You don't need to judge other people. Just be present, choose love over fear. And remember, we're all in this thing together.
Amen to that, man. Amen to that. All right, there you go. Gonna put your website up there. You can contact him there. If you want to shout him out and say, hey, I listened to your podcast. I heard what you're saying. I definitely want some help. There it is there again. We're going to make sure you put all the links and descriptions in there. And don't forget to check out his podcast. It's a great listen. Follow him. Get his subscribers up. Like, subscribe, link. Do everything you got to do. All right, my friend. It's been an honor, a pleasure to have you on my show. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Charles. Thanks, everybody.
All right. It's your time to shine, ladies and gentlemen. It's time to jump. We'll see you next time.
Has come to an end. But the fun doesn't have to stop here. If you have any questions, suggestions, or feedback, head over right now to Twitter and Facebook and like, share, and get involved. Join us next time.
Hey, hope you had a great time listening to the show. If you think I did a great job, please buy me a coffee. I still got a lot of work to do. We would love to hear from you, your feedback, so please click the link and leave us a review. You can help us grow by following us on all social media platforms and sharing this link. Once again, it's time for you to jump. Success is waiting.